primul joc al meciului dintre Thepchaiya Un-Nooh și Marco Fu. Bine v-am găsit, eu sunt Cristi și astăzi rememorăm această partidă foarte, foarte tare, spun eu. Marco Fu, un jucător care promite foarte multe, încă promite, deoarece este o vârstă în care se poate anunța un viitor bun pentru el. Are mulți ani în față încă și, spre deosebire de jucătorii experimentați, precum Ronnie, Sullivan, Mark Williams și Cea Trump, ei bine, Marco Fu are încă destul timp în față pentru a câștiga, de ce nu, un campionat mondial. Acolo sunt marile turnee la Crucible, la Masters și la UK Championship. Mi-ar plăcea să-l văd pe Marco Fu ridicând titlul de campion mondial într-o bună zi. Chiar merită acest lucru din plin.
Years ago, Martin Gould started the World Championship 60th in the world rankings with the possibility of dropping off. That seemed unthinkable. And at times last season, the relegation threat hung over the head of Thepchaiya Un-Nooh. Again, unthinkable.
Yeah, and it just shows the game today. I was just saying before with Dave how the strength and depth is just mind-blowing now. Consistency is one thing, obviously, but the capabilities of a lot of the players on tour now is just so good that you've got players like Tepi, you know, falling into that possibility where he could have been off the tour. Obviously, other good players from over the years, like Sir Michael Holt, have dropped off, you know, and it's just so tough now. You've got to be consistently playing well, otherwise you can be in danger. But as you'll see today, by the looks of things, just how good a player Thepchaiya is. It's kind of unthinkable that he might not have even been on the tour this season. Started off sharp here though, the great long red. Looks to have got the pace of the table quite quickly. Coming down there off the green for the red.
30.
Just as I put the curse on him, he's left himself a bit awkward on the black to get into the reds. He's going to have to really power this one in. It's not too bad. If that one doesn't go past the red and pink to the
20.
Yellow pocket, which he's looking at now, he's still got the one on the right-hand side.
Thepchaiya Un-Nooh, 20.
Wasn't easy though, tricky little shot, sort of cutting them back into half a blind pocket there.
Well, that wasn't just a miss, that was a wholesale miscalculation, misjudgment.
Yeah, one of them shots where you're sort of putting a little bit of left-hand side on to help it round, and Marco's obviously, as we've said, not too used to playing in tournaments lately and getting used to these very slippery conditions on a brand new cloth. Straight away there, that could have just been one where the white's pushed over a little bit more than he was expecting, and it can make you look silly sometimes. But either way, it's let Thepchaiya straight back in, and he's got a nice chance now. He'd be disappointed if he doesn't get very close to winning the frame from here.
9.
Purposely leave himself nice and low on the black. If he wants to be a bit more aggressive and not just play for the single reds, he'll be straight into the pack with that red on the right there to go at as insurance.
60.
You wouldn't see the likes of Tepi play for single reds and just dilly-dally around them. If that sort of shot's on, he'll always get into them, open the frame up and try and win the frame straight away in one visit.
17.
He doesn't hang about neither. Sees the game very quickly, sees the shot very quickly.
25.
Absolutely tailor-made, Thepchaiya Un-Nooh, to win the shootout, which he did in 2019. If you're unfamiliar with that tournament, it's all 10-minute matches.
32.
First 5 minutes, 15 seconds. Second 5 minutes, 10
33.
seconds. Now, for most players, especially the 10 seconds, that's a real hindrance, a real handicap. For him, hardly so.
40.
Yeah, just like another day's practice for Teppy. It can only be a bit of a hindrance sometimes when you're a bit awkward,
41.
but if your positional play is good, like it is at the moment in this break, I mean, you know the shot straight away. You can just get down and play it. It's as you say, it's totally suited to his game. A tournament we all look forward to now, but obviously players like Thepchaiya are going to look forward to it that little bit more, thinking they've got a great
48.
chance of winning it every year.
49.
And look at this. Frame already in the books. This is what he does.
56. 57.
Lovely little cannon there. Frame one, obviously, so he just took the opportunity to slide off the reds, open them up and get on the black at the same time.
It's all right. Go on. Thanks.
The table will really suit him. It's very conducive to floating the ball around, and I personally believe he could prosper here.
Yeah, he's got a lovely smooth cue action, Thepchaiya, being as quick as he is as well. He sort of looks so good on the shot. He doesn't look that quick, if you know what I mean.
65.
He's not like a Tony Drago, where he was Tony. You could almost imagine him running around the table and getting down and kind of, I wouldn't say a jabby player, but more on instinct. Not so much of a technique there, whereas Thepchaiya, he's got a lovely flow and cue action as well. And although he's quick,
70.
he's a bit like Ronnie in that regard, where he doesn't look as quick as he is.
71.
Rob Spencer, the referee, has the traditional
77.
black leather shoes on today. When you're refereeing for
78.
Un-Nooh, a pair of trainers might be advisable.
Yeah, and it's already warm enough in there. He's going to be quite warm after this.
84. Thank you. 85.
Marco Fu missed that middle distance red. Grossly thick. Un-Nooh is now 3 balls
90.
away from a century.
Yeah, and that's it in this format, such a short format. As we say, it's 4 frames, and you kind of know that in your head. If you make one mistake, the match isn't obviously over or anything, but you're putting yourself under pressure
96.
straight away.
100.
He's actually so good, he's infuriating, Thepchaiya Un-Nooh, because when you see him play like this,
105.
a little bit like Jack Lazowski, you think, surely he's going to win big tournaments.
Yeah, it seems as when he can get into this relaxed zone,
111.
he's at his best. And obviously when the pressure comes on a bit, and like everybody, and you're playing in big occasions, it's not as easy. But yeah, how easy was that?
118.
It was preposterously
Thepchaiya Un-Nooh.
easy. What he's up against, a player who is clearly sharp. And that shows to me, Gary, that he must have practiced quite a bit between the end of the World Championship and the start of the new campaign. Is that the case with you?
Yeah, he must have done, obviously looking sharp there, and same for me really. Not loads, but the last couple of weeks, just been getting back into it again. As I said before, there'll be a few players sort of practicing a few weeks beforehand. Some will not be doing it hardly at all even yet. But yeah, myself, I've been up there in Paul Rinaldi's club, North East Snooker Centre, where I practice all the time. So just while I'm on that, a massive thanks to them, because always been there for us
Thepchaiya Un-Nooh.
and helped us out with me practice over the last few years. So yeah, great big thanks to North East Snooker Centre and Paul and Alison. And while I'm on it, I might as well say that I've just got a new sponsor for the season. So I just want to say a massive thanks to BM Steel. Mel and Mark there have done a great job to get the sponsorship for us. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season. So thanks a lot.
Lou isn't saying thanks for being put in that predicament, but I think he's okay. Now on table 2, what a turnaround this is. Stephen Maguire was off to a flyer. He led 2-0, made breaks of 87 and 63. He was nicely on the way to 3-0, but now it's 2-1 Maguire, and it looks like going 2-2. Thepchaiya 41 ahead, 35 on. Maguire needs a couple of snookers. You experienced that yesterday, Gary, in your second match against Barry Pinchers, 2-0 up, and eventually only drew 2 each. Yes, you've got a point, but it must be quite deflating.
Yeah, I was actually quite frustrated at that one. It wasn't a great game between me and Barry, to be honest. As you say, I went 2-0 up. I'm going to blame the food, to be honest. The food that they've put on here, as usual, is absolutely exceptional, and I've had a lovely bit of salmon and potatoes and everything yesterday. And I came onto my game against Barry, and I felt so lethargic. I think I'd ate too much, Phil. And sort of, yeah, went 2-0 up, didn't feel great though, and Barry's done well to claw his way back and got a draw out of it. But it set me up in a position where I said before, I knew I had to win the last game. And really, you don't want to be kind of putting yourself in that position if you don't have to. It would have been ideal to get them 2 wins straight away, and I would have only needed a draw at worst, sorry. So, yeah, a good start in this is key. And as I said before, if you get sort of 2-0 ahead, you really don't want to be losing a frame. Frame difference can come into it as well. So it's every frame, every ball sort of matters, and it can make it quite a tough format at times.
And although he was in with an easy opener there, this is not a simple chance for Fu, because the 2 highest value colours are both out of the reckoning.
Yeah, it'll be tough to score many from here. He's not got too much of an angle on the green, so it'll be a good positional shot to get onto one of these reds. Yeah, just a little bit too much to ask there, I think.
4.
So a tough start for Marco.
Marco Fu.
Again, a little sloppy on the safety.
We can't overstate the level of Marco Fu's celebrity in Hong Kong. Much loved out there, and quite rightly so. In 2017, Gary, he was appointed a Justice of the Peace.
Yeah, he's a great ambassador as well, is Marco. Not only a great player, a very strong ambassador for snooker in Hong Kong. And whether you agree with it or not, obviously got his chance to play in the World Championships when he came back, and does a lot for the game. So it's just really nice to see Marco back playing again, back here, and hopefully that's going to be him playing in most of the tournaments again.
Yeah, even before the COVID-19 pandemic, he had his problems. Had to undergo eye surgery, which clearly was a big blocker to the progress of his career.
Yeah, I actually remember playing Marco in, I think it was the European Masters a few years ago, around the time of having the surgery, and I think I'd beaten him in the quarterfinals, and he'd really picked up the pace. I mean, he's not a slow player anyway, Marco, but he'd really picked up the pace against me. I mean, he was almost a Thepchaiya's kind of speed, believe it or not. And I did ask him after the game, like, just curious as to why you were playing so quick. And he'd said at the time that he couldn't really see. So he was just playing a lot more on instinct if he could. But yeah, hopefully all them troubles are behind him. Because it would be great to see a player of Marco's class back playing the way we know he can. Nice little chance of a cannon into the reds. He's got the red on the left and the red to the right of the black. Shows there not to be as aggressive. Didn't have to play them hard, but he could have still went into them there and been on one of the two reds. He's going to leave that now for a few shots.
50.
Danger being, obviously, if you keep taking away the single reds, you're leaving yourself less opportunity when you do go into the reds to land on one. But he has got the red to the right of the pink. And another couple of open reds.
22.
And if he's got the angle here, he can flick one or two out.
23.
Deciding on the black here, he'll be looking to play the red to the left of the black. And then surely leave the angle on the black to go into the reds.
30.
Everyone break builds different ways, and I know a lot of people go on about certain players who go into the reds at every given opportunity and some pick them off. It's not always as clear cut as that. Sometimes you'll even find players who you think play very aggressively, 38. Like Thepchaiya does, do what he did there, and sometimes pick one or two off first and then go into them. It just all depends on the situation, really. And that just comes with experience and practice. Oh, it's not worked out from there.
38.
Was a little more tricky than it might have appeared.
This shot's very similar to what Marco messed up before. And he's kind of done the same again. He's caught it thick, so I think he's maybe just not quite used to the slippiness of the cloth and it pushing slightly when he's putting a bit of left-hand side on the cue ball. And these are things when you've not been playing, as I say, in tournaments very often, that take a little bit of getting back used to again.
I'll tell you what Thepchaiya Un-Nooh didn't get used to when he recently made his international 9-ball pool debut, partnering Noppon Sangkam. Thailand came into the World Cup down at Brentwood in Essex as late replacements for the Philippines. Sadly, Efren Reyes could not get a visa and was unable to attend. And we all thought, given the quality of Noppon Sangkam and Thepchaiya Un-Nooh on a snooker table, they might do something in the World Cup. Not so. They lost in the first round to Jason Theron and Kyle Akalu from South Africa. And quite frankly, they looked like a couple of fishes out of water.
Yeah, I actually watched a little bit of that on the highlights, and to be honest, it made me feel a lot better about my campaign in the UK Open. They played quite poorly, and people who don't realise the difference, obviously the conditions are so different, the cloths are so slippy. If you think snooker table match cloths are slippy and reactive, I mean, it's another level in the pool, in the 9-ball, and getting used to the cue and the balls, the size difference and weight difference of the balls and things. It's all things you've got to get used to if you're going to play at any kind of high level.
What?
So although it made them look a bit stupid, I can totally understand why they've struggled. But as I say, I'm sure if any of us had like a good go at it and had a few weeks to a month's practice and played with, you know, the right cues and all that kind of stuff, then it is a game where I think any snooker player doing that could actually have a good run and put up a good performance. So it would be nice if we can get the snooker players involved in the 9-ball pool again.
Yeah, because Emily Fraser and the team at Matchroom Multisport are doing such a wonderful job in promoting 9-ball and taking it to new heights. And so having some of the snooker guys there and making their presence felt would be terrific. Of course, we had Judd Trump at the US Open last year in Atlantic City.
14.
And it was amazing the reaction of the spectators and his fellow players when Judd turned up. It was wonderful to see.
Yeah, it just gets the hype around cue sports in general, doesn't it? So that's what snooker needs, pool needs, all of it. You know, it's we can work together in some ways and get that. Then
20.
It's absolutely brilliant for pool and snooker. Mark goes in a decent position, yeah, where he's got another couple of loose reds. But he's going to need to move them 2 reds behind the black to have a chance of winning the frame. So
26.
we'll be looking just to pop this pink red next to the black and leave an angle on the black to cannon them 2 reds. And this is where some people ask, you know, how many shots ahead do you think? And in that situation there, yeah, you're thinking 3 or 4 shots ahead, but only because you know you've got them 2 reds to move. Generally, in a normal break, you're only really thinking about 34. The shot you're playing to get on the next ball, to leave an angle on the one after that, and that's as far ahead as you really think, because the game's too hard to try and think any further than that. You don't end up where you want to be most of the time, believe it or not. And it's always plan B coming into effect. That's a lovely little cannon he's played there.
41.
And the pockets have been playing a little bit more generous than what I think most of the players are used to on the star tables. It was mentioned, I think, yesterday,
42.
and these reds along the black cushion there, they're not as difficult as they may be normally, for whatever reason that is, but the Rasson tables don't seem to play as tight as the stars.
Well, we had Sean Murphy in your role on the first couple of days of the tournament, and he said that almost
49.
immediately. You're quite right, I think, across this top cushion, especially if you play a red or a black, sedately they'll go in. I do think, though, the middle pockets are quite brutal at times. Would you agree?
Possibly. They don't look it. I mean, I didn't actually have many shots to sort of test that theory out.
50.
But like there, that sort of went in with ease, and he's obviously hit it well. It hasn't exactly wobbled or anything, but yeah, the corners especially, I've definitely found them a little bit more generous. I actually played a rest shot down the side cushion yesterday in my last game. One that I would probably think twice about on a star table, but thought if I got anywhere near, it would go in.
57.
And he's got a lovely cannon there.
Well, that is the shot of the morning so far for me.
$59.
24 in front. The break goes to 59, so the green is frame ball. This to equalise.
Yeah, I'll just be putting full concentration into the green. Won't even be thinking about trying to get position on the brown, really. Just concentrate on the green. As you say, that'll be frame over. Not an easy shot, but one, if he concentrates on and hits it well, you'd expect Marco to get.
62.
He's still got it, Marco Fu. 44 years of age now. In a bygone era, that might have signified he was over the hill. But he's
66.
actually 2 years younger than the world champion and world number one, so he can't say that anymore.
Yeah, how the perception of the game's changed.
71.
Well, the application of bundles of
Marco
side.
71 on the
Fu
front.
misses the pink, but the break of 70.
Am avut momente foarte bune de joc în această partidă. Thepchaiya Un-Nooh a avut un adversar de calibru, o să nu uităm că Marco Fu a avut niște rezultate excepționale de-a lungul timpului, a atins un nivel foarte, foarte înalt în perioada 2014-2016, unde a atins inclusiv o semifinală de campionat mondial, unde a pierdut la o mare, mare luptă împotriva lui Mark Selby în joc decisiv. Selby avea să câștige turneul atunci și de atunci Marco Fu parcă n-a mai reușit aceleași rezultate excepționale. Din păcate, poate că presiunea este prea mare pe umerii săi și de aceea nu reușește să se regăsească.